everyone, welcome to the very first episode of Storytime with Willy. For the longest time, I've always wanted to do a series like this, and I thought it'll be best to tell my stories through animation. Since my inspirations actually came from Dominic's and Jaden animations, I thought, why not share my crazy experiences about my group assignments? I'll have to admit, the thing I learned about group assignments over these years in college is you get two different annoying group assignment members. You either get the slacker or the Superman. I'll start my story talking about the slacker. My final year at the university, our group assignment is to do a presentation about a country and how they run their media, financially, how it's ruled and regulated. So the four of us split this project in half. The two group members were going to look at the rules and regulations, while the slacker and I look at the finances. I don't want to use his real name, so I'll just call him Richard because he was a dick. So once we were finished with the class meeting of what we're going to do, I immediately started doing my research. So I noticed that the two group members and I had our slides, except for Richard. I was a little concerned. I was thinking maybe he has his own research and we don't want to cross each other's research. I contacted him and asked him if he's got anything. And he said, yeah, I got it. Later, I find out he has nothing. There was other signs that he's a slacker. For one, when we assigned these group meetings, he would show up late. At one point, he actually didn't bother showing up. And whenever he is around, he was actually on his phone a lot. I hate how he claims he's doing research on his phone because I could see that he's either on Facebook or he's texting. It's not a great idea to do research on your smartphone because a lot's on the line. 2 weeks before the project is due, Richard has not put a single slide in the damn project. I am up in arms with this guy. And I'm like, dude, what's your deal? Do you have a slide for the show? And he says, nah, man, I got it. I'm like, I'll tell you what. I'll give you my slides. I want you to paraphrase it. I want you to add your own notes to it, okay? He says, cool. I give it to him. He added jack shit to those things. He didn't paraphrase it. He added more notes. He didn't do shit. I know you're standing thinking, going, Willy, why did you give him your slides? How can you let him crash and burn? I'm like, look, because this thing is a group assignment, okay? If he goes down, we go down. I'm at the point where I rather do his work than have an incomplete project. So the day of the presentation came. It actually went pretty smoothly. We got a B at the end. The thing that pissed me off about that grade, though, is even though Richard didn't do anything in the project, he gets the B too. That is until the professor actually told us we could grade our partners. And on the scale of 1 to 5, I gave him a 1. If it was even possible, I would have gave him a 0. So the second kind of group member I had the displeasure of working with was with the Superman. This is the kind of guy who tries to do all the work but makes everything worse. So once again, I don't want to use his real name, but I'll just call him Nigel because he was very snooty. Here's how bad he was. Every time we do our group meeting or we work on the assignment, he would always mention about times he worked with bigger production companies. First it was whatever, then it started getting annoying. Unfortunately, this snootiness actually compromised our group project. This happened during Intro to Digital Production. Our assignment was very simple. We had to do a short narrative film based on a fairy tale. My classmate's project got picked, and hers was on Hansel and Gretel. Once she assembled the team, she gave us an announcement that she didn't really have a script ready because she wasn't expecting to be picked. So I volunteered. I spent an entire weekend coming up with a simple yet effective way to be loyal to the source material. I came up with this idea that the brother and sister were on their way to the father's engagement party. Their car breaks down, and some hermit cannibal claims that he'll call for help, and while they wait for their tow truck to come in, he gives them snacks, which are drugged, and he tries to eat them. You know, something simple as that. So we got everything together once we got the storyboard and the script. We got the equipment, we got the shoot dates, and we got the talent. We were ready to rock and roll. On the day of the shoot, that's when things started to go downhill. One of the things that Nigel suggests is we should improvise the movie. At first, I thought he wanted to improvise a scene. But no, he wants to improvise the whole thing. The thing is, I have no issues with improvisation, but the problem is you can't do that to a whole movie. I didn't want to argue with him, and I just went with it. He's the one that picked the talent. Maybe they work better with improv. So we got to work. We did the exterior shots. And one of the things that did give me a little concern as we're shooting was he spent 2 hours in the car. I didn't have that much lines, but maybe he'll add extra stuff. I don't know. So we were wrapped by the end of the day. After we cleaned up everything, Nigel told us he was going to edit the film, which was fine by us because he had pretty advanced equipment. A couple days later, I sent him an email asking if it's cool that I come over to his place to see a rough cut. And he told me he has it. The way he emailed me kind of sounded like a back off. Maybe, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe he thinks I'm not important. So I randomly bumped into my group leader at class and I asked her, so did you see the rough cut of their project? And she answered, no. I'm like, what the hell do you mean no? I mean, you're the group leader. Why aren't you seeing anything? She said, because he said he's got it. I text messaged the other group members. Did any of you guys see a rough cut of what Nigel's putting together? And they all said the same thing. They did not see a rough cut whatsoever. Don't tell me we're going to see this movie the day of. Unfortunately, we did. We sat there with our classmates, and our movie went on, and all I have to say is, it sucked. It was really bad. The story made no sense. There was poor dialogue, no character development, and worst of all, it had a damn Deus Ex Machina. What I mean by that is there was a scene where Gretel was tied down and she randomly had a knife in her pants and cut herself out, and she was able to save the day. Because it's common knowledge that all women have knives in their pants. And there were so many unnecessary scenes. I told you that he spent like 2 hours in the car? He only got like 5 seconds of footage. What the hell was he doing 2 hours in the goddamn freaking car? And the thing that's so sad is I made terrible jokes about this project, and I treat it like my redhead stepchild. It like tries to hug me, call me daddy, but I just push it away. That's group of signs for you. You live and learn. Am I right? Well, guys, thanks for watching. Tune in next time for another episode of Storytime with Willy.